From WNDU, your breaking news and weather authority, this is News Center 16 at 11.
Betting limits. The former mayor of Coloma is headed to prison after embezzling hundreds of thousands of dollars to feed his gambling habit. Fluid situation. Things have gotten interesting at a Michiana prison after going several days without running water. Bond issue. A razor-thin margin as the Elkhart City Council votes on a controversial multi-million-dollar bond for downtown improvements.
Good evening, I'm Terry McFadden. It's official, Elkhart will see $6 million worth of improvements to the downtown. News Center 16's Megan Hickey was at tonight's Elkhart City Council meeting, joins us now with more on the outcome of the vote. And Megan, it was by no means a unanimous decision.
Terry, after more than an hour of discussion, the bond passed by a single vote. It's for $7 million total, with $1 million covering the cost of the bond itself. The list of projects, or rather the uncertainty over that list, is what led to much of the contention tonight. Only 2 projects are a certainty, and that's because the city entered into a purchasing agreement for the land before the bond was even passed, which was a fact that upset several council members and residents alike. One piece of land that will be purchased is a Jackson Boulevard riverfront property for about $900,000. A parking lot will also be constructed on North 2nd Street with a cost of about $300,000. The remaining $5 million or so will be appropriated according to the Redevelopment Commission. Opponents complained that the city is writing a blank check, while supporters argued that the bond was necessary to extend the life of the downtown TIF.
People weren't necessarily happy with all the projects. I understand that. I mean, there are a lot of questions out about them. But the question was, could we keep the TIF going? I mean, so it was always a concern, if we didn't adopt this resolution tonight, would we have had the funding available when the great project came up?
We know that 2 properties are going to be purchased. We don't know where the other $5 million will be spent, nor does the council have any say-so by state statute, the Redevelopment Commission. So all of the projects that you found on the paper may or may not be done, and any other project they're in may or may not be done.
And the funds to pay for the bond will come from money generated by the downtown TIF, which is expected to bring in about $1.85 million in 2015. Tonight's decision means the downtown TIF will live on for another 20 years until the bonds are paid off in 2035.
All right, Megan, so when could residents actually see the results of these downtown projects?
So right now we only know for sure about the East Jackson development and the 2nd Street parking lot. I've been told actual construction could start next year. Then there's still close to $5 million in improvements that we'll just have to wait to hear more about.
Stay tuned. All right, Megan, thanks a lot. Well, the former mayor of Coloma turned problem gambler will spend 34 months in prison for stealing from taxpayers and the elderly. 62-year-old Bob Woolley was mayor back in the 90s and was a Berrien County commissioner when he was arrested for embezzlement. Woolley admitted he stole more than $317,000 over 7 years while he was director of the North Berrien Senior Center, and he used the money to feed his gambling habit.
The sentence was a minimum of 34 months in the Michigan Department of Corrections to a maximum of 20 years, which is set by law.
He was cunning and sly and covered his tracks and took money from senior citizens, and I think that's terrible.
Now, the defense argued that Woolley wasn't bad or evil, but had an addiction and was being punished for that. The man who murdered his brother and sister-in-law in their Mishawaka home was sentenced today. 44-year-old Stephen Clippinger was given 2 separate sentences of life without parole for the murders of Matthew and Lisa Clippinger. Those 2 life terms will be served consecutively. So will another 20-year sentence that Clippinger got for being a serious violent felon in possession of a firearm. Clippinger shot and killed Matt and Lisa Clippinger in June of 2012 in front of their children. He was convicted back in October. It's not the first time he was convicted of murder. He already served a 20-year sentence for a murder he committed back in 1990. Meantime, a Concord High School coach has been fired after a tweet about Memories Pizza in Walkerton. Jess Dooley, an assistant softball coach at Concord, posted a tweet inviting folks to join in burning down Memories Pizza, a company that supports the Religious Freedom Restoration Act. According to our reporting partners at the Elkhart Truth, Dooley was terminated from all coaching duties after the school board voted on the matter at its regular meeting tonight. A woman has been charged with murder, kidnapping, and criminal confinement in the death of another woman who police believe she duped into believing she was a child welfare worker. 36-year-old Geraldine Jones of Gary was charged today in the death of 23-year-old Samantha Fleming. Police have not yet been in contact with Jones because she's being treated in Texas for depression. Fleming's body was found Friday in Jones' home in Gary. Fleming's infant daughter was being held by Jones' sister, who told police she had been caring for her sister's child. Police determined the child was Fleming's, and the child was returned to relatives in Indianapolis. South Bend police are still investigating a pair of shootings that injured 2 men Sunday. The first incident happened at around 3:42 a.m. yesterday in the 300 block of Olive. That's where police found a man lying on the ground. He's listed in stable condition. And shortly after 10 p.m., police responded to another shooting, this one at the corner of Huron and Falcon. South Bend police say a male victim was shot in the stomach. The second shooter is reportedly still on the loose. One resident thinks the brief warm-up we had sparked the incident on Olive.
I didn't feel too threatened, but it was just, normal day, normal night in the hood. When the weather gets warm, it gets that kind of active around here.
Police believe a party was going on before the first shooting happened. They have yet to confirm if a suspect is in custody. Well, this week is looking like the big chill in Michiana. Here's Mike.
Yeah, Terry, very little doubt about that. A big change from what we saw Saturday and even on into Sunday. But you can see not a lot of rain with this system at the moment. 16 Doppler max showing a few sprinkles and maybe light showers moved south of Winnemac, south of Rochester within the past couple of hours. And we have another little batch coming into western LaPorte County. But most of the area is going to stay dry as we head through the overnight hours. You can see there's not much back in northern Illinois either. The snow has ended temporarily in the UP of Michigan, but there's more coming, as you can see, out of northern Wisconsin. So here's my day planner as we head into the day tomorrow. Only 37 degrees at 8 a.m. with partly sunny skies, but then mostly cloudy by afternoon. Windy with maybe a shower in some areas, but once again, most of us will stay dry during the day tomorrow, but it's going to be another cold, windy day. We'll have the rest of your 7-day coming up.
Mike, thank you. After 6 days, a northern Indiana prison is close to having its running water restored. On Thursday, there was a water main break at the prison in Westville. Starting on Friday and throughout the weekend, there were no showers, no toilets, and no visitors. The prison brought in cases of bottled water and dozens of portable toilets, while the National Guard delivered trailers with large tanks of water. Right now, Westville is considered medium security and houses around 3,000 inmates. Now, despite the loss of water, there haven't been any major problems.
Just the normal complaints that you would expect that anyone would have if suddenly you lost your water and you can't flush your toilet and you can't take a shower for a couple of days.
Fortunately, the prison's medical ward and food service was not disrupted. Now, Schrader says water service could be restored by tomorrow or Wednesday. Governor Mike Pence has extended a needle exchange program in a southern Indiana county to help combat an HIV outbreak. He approved a 30-day extension of a March 26 executive order declaring a public health emergency in Scott County. The measure allows local health authorities to conduct needle exchanges and other programs to combat the spread of the disease. To date, more than 1,500 needles have been given out and nearly 600 have been returned. As of Friday, the Indiana State Department of Health has 128 confirmed cases of HIV, and they're all linked to injection drug use. Meanwhile, a few dozen marijuana activists marched from Monument Circle to the Indiana State House today. It was part of a nationwide effort to push for legalization of pot, with 420 marches and celebrations in cities across the country. According to our sister station in Indy, WTHR, while there were some bills introduced this legislative session concerning marijuana, none called for outright legalization. Baltimore police said today that even after an autopsy, they do not know how a man they arrested got the spinal cord injury that killed him. 25-year-old Freddie Gray died at a hospital a week after police arrested him on a Baltimore street. Now, a witness captured video on a cell phone that shows Gray in police custody. Police say they have no evidence of violence against him and that he was conscious and talking when they placed him in a van. But officers later said he had a medical emergency and called for an ambulance. Gray died yesterday after being in a coma. At a news conference today, city and police officials announced that the officers involved had been suspended with pay.
We had no evidence, physical or video or statements of any use of force. There was no physical bodily injury that we saw, nor was it evident in the autopsy of Mr. Gray.
A Gray family attorney said he has no confidence that the police department will conduct a fair investigation. Federal authorities say they've arrested 6 men from Minnesota who were making plans to travel to Syria and join ISIS. The months-long investigation ended with arrests near Minneapolis and in San Diego. The FBI was already investigating terror recruiting in the Minneapolis area, but one member of the group provided information that landed them all behind bars. Brian Moore has the story. Investigators say the men arrested in San Diego were hoping to get fake passports and travel to Syria from Mexico.
More to come on News Center 16.
Thousands of runners took to the streets for the Boston Marathon, showing the great strides the city has taken to step out from the shadow of the 2013 bombings there.
I'm Jim Johnston. Coming up in sports, the Chicago Bulls were looking to take a 2-0 lead in their opening round series against the Milwaukee Bucks. We got highlights from that one for you coming up.
You're watching WNDU, your breaking news and weather authority. News Center 16 at 11. Tracking weather with an hour-by-hour forecast. Storm Team 16 is your weather authority.
Many of you have been asking on Facebook, when are you going to do one of your weather radio programming days? Well, it's coming up this Wednesday in a couple of days at 5 to 7 p.m. at 4 different locations at these Walgreens stores, Mishawaka, Niles, Goshen, and Plymouth. So we'll have people there. Obviously, when we're going to this many places, it won't all be WNDU folks, but we got a lot of emergency management personnel, some National Weather Service guys as well, just kind of helping out so they can program these radios, and you can also purchase one of a couple of different radios, one desktop and also a travel one if you would like at the store. Now let's check out the situation as far as the satellite radar is concerned. No severe weather this week. We do not have to worry about that. We have to worry about the cold, and it's been chilly today, no question. Lots of showers this evening to the north of us, but those are quickly dying out. We still have a few spots with sprinkles or light showers off to the west, but also some breaks in the clouds. So we do expect some of those breaks. If they don't happen, if we stay cloudy, we'll stay in the low 40s tonight. But we expect some of those breaks in the clouds, and that should allow temperatures to drop into the mid to upper 30s by morning. A little bit of snow, as you can see, coming back into the UP of Michigan. But for us, it's all sprinkles or very light showers tonight, and most of us won't get anything. There's 16 Doppler max. There is a shower right now moving across US 421 toward LaPorte, and that some of you folks will see the wet ground there for a short period of time, and then that's about it. There's our Mishawaka sky view from the St. Joseph Regional Medical Center. 44 degrees right now, 58% relative humidity. Winds are westerly at 15, but it has been dry most of the evening in South Bend and Mishawaka with temperatures in the mid-40s just about everywhere. The cold spot, 41 degrees right now in Benton Harbor. Here's what the future looks like with 16 Future Track, and you can see a secondary cold front kind of coming this way. A couple of showers in some spots as we head through the overnight hours. Those should be gone by morning, so you can see Future Track showing partly sunny skies. Watch the time under the line, though. Second cold front kind of coming this way, and looks like it comes through in the early to mid-afternoon. And after that passes, we'll see more clouds. We'll see spotty showers develop, especially after 4 o'clock, as you can see there in just a few spots probably getting those. There's 7 p.m. As we head through the evening hours, we'll probably see those clouds break up a little bit. Now, Future Track is suggesting the slight possibility for sprinkles or flurries after midnight tomorrow night on toward Tuesday morning. You can see pretty insignificant, but nonetheless, if you're out in the middle of the night, you might see a few flakes of snow. Other than that, we expect partly sunny skies on Wednesday. High pressure then builds in, but we are looking at a third cold front here coming in, which might give us a few clouds and perhaps a sprinkle on Thursday. We don't really have that in the forecast right now, but we'll have to watch that as we draw nearer to the end of the week. Here's my Storm Team 16 forecast for all of Michiana for tonight. A shower in a couple of spots, otherwise breezy and chilly, low down to 36. 7-day planning forecast after the chilly start. It turns windy again, unfortunately. Maybe a spotty shower toward dinner time, so a yellow day. high of 54. Wednesday we'll call it a green day, even though there could be a couple of flakes early. Partly sunny skies expected, remaining chilly, high of 49. Another green day on Thursday, but another cold day, high of only 49, despite at least partly sunny skies. And then the rest of the 7-day forecast looks like this: 52 for Friday and Saturday with partly sunny skies on Saturday, 54 and partly sunny Sunday, and then a chance of showers coming in again early next week with a high of 56. Just chilly for this time of the year. Our normal high right now is 62. And it only goes up from here, obviously, as we head through the rest of spring.
All right, Mike, thanks a lot. Well, more to come. It's the second recent outbreak in the state, the latest on the bird flu that hit chickens in Iowa. Plus, 2 years after the Boston Marathon bombing, runners hit the pavement again, proving they're Boston strong. That's next. Making news tonight, the bird flu virus has been found at a farm holding nearly 10% of Iowa's egg-laying chickens. This means over 5 million hens must be destroyed at the farm in northwest Iowa's Osceola County. The state is home to roughly 59 million chickens that lay nearly 1 in 5 eggs consumed here in the U.S. It's the first chicken farm in Iowa to be affected by the virus, which was confirmed at a turkey farm last week. Several other Midwestern states have been affected by the outbreaks, costing poultry producers over 7 million birds since March. Meanwhile, conflicting reports tonight on the condition of Bobby Christina Brown, singer Whitney Houston's daughter. Her father, Bobby Brown, told concertgoers in Dallas over the weekend that his daughter is awake and watching him. But a source close to the Brown family says the 22-year-old has yet to wake up. Bobby Christina Brown was discovered in her bathtub in her Atlanta area home back in January. She was placed in a medically induced coma and is now in a long-term care facility. It's been 2 years since the deadly terror attack at the finish line of the Boston Marathon, and Boston is still running. 30,000 competed in the prestigious race today, while tens of thousands gathered to show their support for the runners and the city. Up next in sports, the Bulls look to take a 2-0 series lead on the Bucks. Plus, South Bend Cubs looking to avoid the sweep against Great Lakes tonight. Jim Johnston has the highlights, and he joins us next.
Derrick Rose made his triumphant return to the playoffs on Saturday night, with the Bulls taking a 1-game lead over the Bucks. Tonight, the game featured a ton of defense and one that came down to the final minutes. If D. Rose can stay healthy, this Bulls team will always be dangerous. However, very little scoring in the first. Jared Dudley hits a corner three here. It was just 16-11 after one quarter. Then in the second, Mike Dunleavy off the inbounds pass. He gets 3 of his own. It was a 1-point game at the break. Derrick Rose went off in the third, scoring 12 points in the frame. Here he puts the Bulls on top by 2. But the big star of the night was Jimmy Butler. Watch him elevate for the jam and the foul. It's now a 6-point lead. Butler running the ISO, just staring at it, steps into an easy 3-pointer. He finished with 31. Bulls take a 2-0 lead with a 9-point win. Chicago's Nikola Mirotic left the game with what looked like a knee injury in the fourth quarter. No word on his status yet. Game 3 of the series shifts to Milwaukee Thursday night. That one tips off at 8 p.m. South Bend Cubs in action in a chilly one tonight, trying to avoid being swept by the Loons. Runner on second for Great Lakes. Check out the play from pitcher Ryan Williams. My camera work did not do that play justice. It was a heck of a grab to get the out. We stay scoreless. Bottom of the first, 2 on, 2 out for Jesse Hodges, who comes through with a bases clearing single. Cubs take the series finale with a 3-0 shutout win at home. Niles High School alum David Gardner made his South Bend Cubs debut tonight, pitching a scoreless inning and a third in relief. Tomorrow night, the Cubs welcome in Lake County for a fresh series. That one will start at 7:05. In the MLB tonight, Cubs on the road taking on the Pirates. Scary moment in the second. Starlin Castro fouls off a pitch, and it strikes a fan who was standing close to the net in the head. She went down. The game was delayed 23 minutes as they tended to her. She was reportedly conscious, however, when they took her out on a stretcher, so good news there. Game tied now in the 7th. Chris Bryant doubles to center to score 2 runs. Pirates trying to make the play at home. The ball gets away. Bryant rounds third too far. Pitt thinks they've got him. Fire down to third. That throw's there, but the throw back home, not the case. Bryant touches them all as the Cubs win 5-1. Tigers, who might just be the best team in baseball, hosting the Yankees tonight. Detroit down 1, the top of the 6th. Brett Garner hits one in the hole. Look at the play from Jose Iglesias, then the throw to first. Does not get much better than that. Game tied at 1 now in the 7th. Jonas Cespedes singles to drive in a run. The Tigers are on top. Get the double play here as they hold on to win 2-1. The White Sox were also winners tonight. They knocked off Cleveland 4-3 in Chicago. Even though the outcome of Saturday's blue-gold game didn't matter at all, it was the defense defeating the offense by 2. Score wasn't the focus. After a sluggish start, the Notre Dame D looked solid in the second half, forcing turnovers and getting stops. Much like the rest of the Irish team, the defense returns a ton of guys and is feeling plenty confident heading into the summer and fall.
Coach Light just instilled in us that, we're great players, and we just gotta play like that. Feel like we're the best players out there. And, just get everybody on the same page. We're going to make mistakes, but just play with it. If everybody's lined up on everybody's doing the same thing, we're on the same page, and we just line up and play.
Obviously, there's a lot of things to work on and correct and improve on, but I think having that stable of leadership and guys who have that experience is going to make a big difference and make that transition to, being where we want to be a lot smoother.
And we are just 137 days away from Notre Dame's Week 1 game against Texas in prime time. Sad news out of the Chicago Bears organization this afternoon as former linebacker Doug Buffone was found dead in his home at the age of 70 years old. Buffone retired in 1980 and played 15 seasons in Chicago. He is the all-time leader in games played for the organization, and he recorded 1,200 tackles for the Bears. Sad news there is he was also still doing the post-game show for the Bears on the radio.
He was an intense competitor.
Absolutely.
All right, Jim, thanks. Well, coming up, meet a woman who's turning heads and even being compared to a lion. After the break, we're checking out a steak-eating competition that sure leave you hungry. Stay tuned. Well, a 120-pound competitive eater has conquered 3 72-ounce steak dinners in about 20 minutes during a food challenge in Amarillo, Texas. Where else? Dozens gathered outside the Big Texan Steak Ranch Sunday afternoon to watch Ms. Molly Schuyler eat the steaks plus 3 baked potatoes, 3 shrimp cocktails, 3 salads, and 3 rolls. Schuyler finished her first steak dinner in 4 minutes and 18 seconds, which beats the restaurant's record by 40 seconds, which, by the way, she set last May. She even turned down a 4th steak, not because she was full, but because she was sick of the taste.
I've actually been there and watched somebody fail trying to do that. I did not try that.
The steak good?
Oh, the steak was awesome.
Yeah, you didn't need 3 of them, though.
No, that would have been just a little much. There's 16 Doppler max, and you can see we have a couple of showers there coming across northwestern Indiana. We do have one little batch in southwestern portions of Pulaski County, but the main one right now is near Walkerton, as you can see. Most of us are not going to get wet this evening, but it looks like in North Liberty in about 10 minutes you'll get a quick shower.
All right, we'll see you back here tomorrow night.